Hello, planet Earth. Welcome to my YouTube channel. We're at 90K, my BFF Jill 730.
My BFF Jill 730.
I'm Preston L. Young, wishing you warm salutations and congratulations as always. You've made your way to the Buffington Post.
And now it's all yours.
Today I will be wrapping up my Season 9 coverage of the Buffyverse with Buffy the Vampire Slayer Season 9, issue number 25. It's The Core, Part 5. But before we get into it, previously on Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
The destruction of magic has had very many consequences, including the Zompires and the arrival of the Siphon. The Siphon is a mystical being who basically sucks up all of the mystical energy that's been left out in the world. Now this guy, Severin, teamed up with Simone, the crazy renegade vampire slayer who likes to play with guns and wants to take over the world. But the latest consequence to the destruction of magic is the fact that Dawn has completely fallen apart and faded away from our reality. And so Buffy, with the help of the Magic Council, has gone down into the deeper well to help Willow to tap into the magics of the sarcophagi down there in order to restore Dawn to life. Severin and Simone have also gone down there. Severin is trying to suck up all of the magic out of the sarcophagi in order to use the power that he stole from Illyria in order to reverse time. But while he was down there, Simone abandoned him. She went off and became like an uber vampire due to the fact that she found the sarcophagus of the original vampire Malloker. So now she's a vampire and she unleashed Malloker, who is keeping all of our Magic Council, Willow and Xander, really busy. While down there, Willow actually birthed basically this new seed of wonder with the magic that was bestowed upon her from this body of magic back in Willow Wonderland. Willow and Illyria have convinced Severin the Siphon to make the new Seed of Wonder take root and start being, real and active by transferring all of the power that he's collected into this new Seed of Wonder. Dawn at this point has all but gone away completely. She has faded away, but we still kind of know that she's there. It's kind of complicated. Buffy had fisticuffs with Simone, the Slaypire, and the last we saw of her, Simone had impaled her through the chest with her own scythe.
And so without further ado, let's see if we can save the Scoobies and Dawn in Buffy the Vampire Slayer Season 9, issue number 25. It's our season finale, The Core, Part 5. Here we go.
You are invited.
Don't know about the future, that's anybody's guess. Ain't no good reason for getting all depressed. Fire up your pad and pencil, I give you a piece of my mind. In my opinion, nation, the sun is gonna surely shine. Stop all your fussing, slap on a smile. Come out and walk in the sun for a while. Don't fight the feeling, you know you wanna have a good time. And in my opinion, nation, the sun is gonna surely shine.
The issue opens with Illyria and Severin, who are there with the Seed of Wonder, trying to get Severin to transfer his power into it. And he's built up all of this power, and they're trying to make sure that all of the Scoobies and the Magic Council get out of the deeper well before they kind of unleash all this power into the new seed. Back with Simone and Buffy, Simone's just rattling off at the mouth, talking about how she's so great and grand, she finally killed Buffy, and she's gonna be the only one to survive this shit because she's getting out of here, and then she drops Buffy down to the other Scoobies. Keep in mind that Malloker, the, old one demon god of the vampires, is still, large and in charge and attacking everybody, including D'Hoffryn and the Magic Council, and Ko is taking this opportunity to go after Simone himself. Willow tells Buffy that there is still a chance that since they can still remember Buffy's sister, that if they can get back to her in time, that they can set Dawn right, and Buffy says, look, do whatever you have to do. I am going to make sure that you guys get out of here, even if I don't. After Willow has kind of patched up Buffy's hole in her chest, Malloker grabs her, but then she's freed by Ko. So stuff with Malloker is not fun, and they really need to get out of the well before, Severin and Illyria go boom all over the place. And basically, there was a staff that was left by this wizard guy who got all eaten by Malloker, and that's going to be the way that they can hopefully float up and out of the well. Again, Buffy's not having the best time with Malloker, and Simone looks down and she's like, haha, I finally killed Buffy. What? So Malloker has got Willow and Buffy, but then, hello, Ko comes in with his magical juice and frees them. And yay, Willow makes it to the magical floaty staff thing. And so at this point, Severin the Siphon cannot hold in all of this massive power anymore, and he basically, puts it into the Seed of Wonder. which completely eviscerates Severin and Illyria, but it does allow for the seed to cement itself in reality. And the explosion also kills Malukerd. Yay! So everybody's like floating up to the surface, it looks like they're gonna make it, but then at the last minute, Simone's like, fuck that, I'm gonna kill you, Buffy! Simone's like, I've got the scythe, it's mine! And she cuts off Buffy's like ponytail situation, okay? And then Buffy's like, no, it's my scythe. You tried to pervert and twist everything that being a Slayer is about. And I'm sorry I ever used that scythe to make you into a Slayer. And then she dusts that bitch. And then the whole, like, deeper well tree just explodes from all of the magic power that has just been put into the new Seed of Wonder. All hope is lost. Willow is like, oh my god, Buffy was down in there. And somebody's coming up, and Xander's like, oh crap, it's Simone. But it's Buffy, you can only kill her so many times, right? So, yay, Buffy's alive, they survived the deeper well, Simone is dust, and the new Seed of Wonder is like super up and running. So it's time to go and save Dawn already. So whoop-de-doo, we go back to San Francisco, Willow's trying everything she can to bring Dawn back, and it should be working, but it's not. Willow remembers that, hey, they used Buffy's like actual body, her blood, if you will, in order to create Dawn into a person in the first place, and so she does the same thing. She gets a little bit of Buffy's blood. She gets her focus, does her hocus pocus, and then wham bam poof. Dawn's back! Dawn's like, what the heck? And then she kind of remembers the fact that she was like disappearing, but who cares? She's back, right? Buffy goes to Spike and thanks him for really being there for Dawn when she needed him when Buffy couldn't be there for her. And Xander thinks that Dawn knows that he like betrayed Buffy, but Dawn tells Xander that she remembers like having disappeared, and the only thing that like kept her around-ish was what Xander had said to her on the phone, and the fact that her being alive in his heart was the thing that really kept her here. So later on, Buffy and Xander are talking, he feels super bad for betraying Buffy, and again, he feels like Dawn knows about it, and Buffy's like, look, I know that you betrayed me, but without what you did, Dawn wouldn't even be here. I love you, I forgive you, and if Dawn does know, I'm sure she'll forgive you too. In the meantime, let's just be happy that we're all back and safe together. So at this point, Buffy realizes that Giles left her like this super important book. It's the only thing that he left her, and she's pretty much been ignoring it all season. And so she and Willow like whip out the book, and whoop-de-doo, all the pages are blank. And they're like, what the holy what did we do down there? Holy crap! So then we pick up in Billy's hometown of Santa Rosita in this zompire nest where this girl has just presumably been turned into a zompire. But Homegirl is not a zompire, she's like an actual vampire, but with the new like Seed of Wonder down there and this new magic that it created, she gets tackled into the sunlight and we see the zompires get dusted, but for some reason she's fine. She's like, haha, you guys are stupid, and look what else I can do. And she transforms into a bat and flies the fuck out of there. And that's where we end the season. Oh, you guys, this final like page of this book was so exciting to read. I remember I was at my ex's like house and I was out on the porch and I was reading this and I just started screaming because it completely changes the rules of the Buffyverse. It's really exciting. And I will say about the cover, this is probably my favorite of the Phil Noto covers. He has a couple of good covers, but I think this one really like captures the spirit of Buffy. But yeah, this is a really satisfying ending to season 9, if you ask me. I know I'm kind of a Buffy apologist, I'm a Buffy comics apologist, but really, everything really does get wrapped up not too neatly and completely because we have this whole like monkey wrench of the new magic, but at the same time it's really satisfying. I love that we haven't forgotten by the end that, hello Xander, you totally betrayed Buffy, and I like that he feels bad about it, but I like that Buffy is, you know, kind of mature enough to say, you know what, I realize your shit was all crazy, but at the same time, if it hadn't been crazy, we wouldn't have had all of the necessary elements in order to do what it is that we did, so thanks. I like that Ko is right in the middle of the action, Poe, he was introduced, and supposedly he was supposed to be like a potential love interest for Buffy, but obviously that never really panned out. And while he does get some characterization, most of his like character development goes on over in Angel and Faith Season 10, spoiler alert. But I like that he's all up in the action, and he really does come to serve Buffy and the Scoobies and the magic of this world at large in a big, profound way, and so, go Co. I love that Simone is killed with the very thing that kind of created her. Simone, and I'll be doing a discussion on the other Slayers about Simone, so I won't go completely into it, but Simone, she really is kind of this cartoonish caricature of what a lot of people assume that feminism is. And again, I'll go more into this later, but I love that Buffy gets to say, no, you don't represent me. You are not a good representation of what being the Slayer is all about. And so this thing that made you is going to be the end of you. And I also really like about the Simone character that she can't let it go. She could have escaped. She could have gotten out of there and gone on to fight Buffy for another day, but she's really committed to this idea of killing Buffy. She's got this like tunnel vision about Buffy. She only sees Buffy, which is a really interesting part of the Simone character. She's trying so hard to not be Buffy. She's always being compared to Buffy because that's kind of the template of Slayers that we all kind of see. I mean, hello, have you seen the title of the book? Yeah, I really like that Simone really finally gets hers. And this great big self-sacrificial moment that we get out of Severin and Illyria is just a nice way to kind of wrap up Severin's story completely and kind of keep us guessing as to what's going on with Illyria, because again, old ones, they don't really die the way that we die, and so this kind of question mark about Illyria is going to be there for a while. And also, having D'Hoffryn down in the deeper well in the final battle really does kind of sow the seeds of what we're going to get into with Season 10 with this new magic that's out there in the world. And I really like the idea of Willow realizing that she has to really ground Dawn in reality, and the thing that allows for her to be grounded in reality is Buffy. And so this whole like, she's like from the blood or whatever that people kind of don't understand. It's really nice to really bring that full circle and go back to basics with Dawn's very creation. That's a really smart thing that I probably wouldn't have thought of in the writer's room. And it really, again, just brings it full circle, and it makes a lot of sense for Willow, Buffy, and Dawn. And I really like what Willow gets to do here. Willow, she's not the best fighter. I mean, she comes in and she's great with magic and all this good stuff, but what Willow does for us is what magic is there for, which is it allows for us to create new circumstances for ourselves. And I like that Dawn comes back and she feels different. Like she does say that she feels different, and the extent of that difference will be explored really well in Season 10, but for right now, it's nice to have Dawn back. And again, I have to say, this final page of the issue, it's really exciting, and it raises so many fun questions for the Buffyverse going forward, and it's a really, like, fine season. Season 9, it's probably not my favorite. It's good, overall, especially when you take into consideration the whole of the Season 9 of the Buffyverse. It ties in really well. It's a very strong season. You could just read this season and kind of not have to read anything else if you didn't want to. I mean, obviously, the predecessors, really bring in a level of understanding with the continuity, but for one season of the Buffyverse, if you include what Willow's going through and Angel and Faith and the Buffy book, I don't necessarily think you need to read the Mike book, but it's a really strong season, and I feel like this is a great finale for Buffy the Vampire Slayer Season 9, number 25. But that's pretty much all I've got for you guys today. I hope you're having a great 2016 so far, everybody. I'm Preston L. Young, and you can come right back here to the Buffington Post anytime for Buffy the Vampire Slayer reviews, Angel and Faith reviews, Buffyverse discussions on the other Slayers, and more. Now that I've finished my coverage of Season 9, we're going to get into the Season 9 wrap-up videos, and there are going to be several for Season 9 because we've got 2 books to really deal with and a lot of characters and themes going on within those books to explore, and I will be back soon doing that. Anyway, have yourself a great day today, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
Just a few more weary days and days. I'll fly away, I'll fly away to that home where joy shall never end. I'll fly away, I'll fly away.
Hey brother,
I'll fly away,
we'll fly.
I'll fly away, I'll fly away, I'll fly away. When I die, hallelujah, by and by. I'll fly away, I'll fly away.
Yes, sisters,
I'll fly away,
we'll fly.
I'll fly away, I'll fly away, I'll fly away. When I die, hallelujah, by and by. I'll fly away, I'll fly away. When the shadows of this life is gone, I'll fly away, I'll fly away. Like a bird from a prison bars have flown. I'll fly away, I'll fly away.
Hey brother,
I'll fly away,
we'll fly.
I'll fly away, I'll fly away, I'll fly away. When I die, hallelujah, by and by. I'll fly away, I'll fly away, I'll fly away,
We'll fly.
I'll fly away, I'll fly away, I'll fly away. When I die, hallelujah, by and by. I'll fly away, I'll fly away.
My BFF. Joe? 730.